Alright, hi, we're continuing 62780 contaminated site cleanup criteria. Um, 780 emergency response action and interim source removal. Within 24 hours of discovering unexpected situations of sudden occurrence with the serious urgent nature for the demands of immediate action to alleviate the threat of human health and the public safety and environmental. Within 24 hours after being notified, the department such of the condition of the person responsible for site rehabilitation shall command his emergency response action for the emergency response action comments means that the person responsible for the site rehabilitation has been employed to contract with the response action contractor to evaluate the design, plan, engineering, construction, implementation, complete the requirements of the emergency response action, has given the contractor the authority to proceed with the required work. With emergency response action shall include the performing all the tasks described in section necessary to eliminate immediate serious threats posed with the site condition. In addition, with the person responsible for site rehabilitation may conduct the interim source the removal of the corners within the section. The objective of the emergency response action, the interim source removal, are to remove the specific known with the contamination source, but to provide temporary control, but to prevent, to minimize contamination, mitigate, to protect human health, environmental prior to removal, the remediation actual plan prepared and submitted with pursuant to Rule 62, 780, 700. Pre-product removal disposal. Person site responsible for site rehabilitation may be made for emergency responsible action shall necessary to alleviate the threat of human health and public safety and environmental. Perform pre-product recovery consistent with the following requirements. Person responsible for site rehabilitation provided with the department notification in accordance with the time schedule of Table A located in the end of the Rules 62, 780, 900 Florida Administration Code. Note of the field activities on the computer cleanup agreement documentation includes the description and type of the estimated volume of the free product to be removed, the proposed free product recovery disposal method utilized. Free product recovery should not be spread of contamination previously uncontaminated, less contaminated areas through the or untreated discharge and improper treatment, improper disposal, and improper storage. Flammable products should be handled in a safe manner. The recovered products should be characterized, properly disposed, recycled, and all sampling and analysis should be performed pursuant to Rule 62, 780, and 300 Florida Administration Code. The Florida Passive Activity Method of free product recovery may be implemented without requesting approval from the department. Absorption pads, skimmer pumps, including the pumps, mechanically, electrical, hand baled, permit, urging operations, hand mechanical baling fluid of the vacuum tubes, for example, the vacuum pump, the trucks, the truck tool fluid displacement pumps, along with the techniques used, shall not smear or spread free product contaminated previously uncontaminated, less contaminated media. If method is used for the petroleum product contamination site, except for the site subject to the brownfield site rehabilitation agreement, the volume of the groundwater recovered shall not be greater than 2 times the volume of the free product recovered, except for the first 100,000 gallons of the total fluid recovered per discharge, but except for the remaining required for the ratio of the groundwater free product. In addition, with the free product recovery method specified in paragraph 62, 780, 502b. Person responsible for site rehabilitation may evaluate the purpose of the other product, the recovery method, department of the approval prior to the implementation submittable as an interim source of removal of the proper proposal to include with the result of the evaluation performed to determine the potential for the product, smearing, spreading of the potential for the air emission of the free product with recovery methods proposed may include dewatering, watering, the extraction for the may influence the department of the depth of water table, the air fluid extraction for the air emission treatment, excavation of the soil saturated with non-aqueous phase liquid below the water table to recover the petroleum products exceed water product ratio indicating subparagraph 62, 780, 502b4 for the administration codes. On-site, the treatment discharge contaminated water was a result of the watering the excavated free product from below the water table. On-site, the treatment discharge with the contaminated water separated with the recovered free product. The department shall provide the person responsible site rehabilitation written approval with the interim source for removal of the proposal to notify the person responsible for the site rehabilitation writing stating the reason for the interim source for removal of the proposal does not contain information adequate to support the free product recovery method pursuant to 62, 780, 502c Florida Administration Codes. Free product recovery, the interim source removal of the task shall be deemed complete with the object of subsection 62, 780, 501 has been met within the time frames specified in Table A of the computer cleanup agreement add documentation notified initiation free product recovery shall be provided with the personal responsible site rehabilitation department within the time frames frequency specified in the Table A with the cleanup agreement documentation. The person responsible for site rehabilitation submit to the department for the review of the all electronic paper copy of the interim source, the removal of the status report, documentation for recovery progress, to summarize all the recovery activities specified in the period short-term the groundwater recovery. The person responsible for site rehabilitation may, for emergency response activities, shall necessarily alleviate the threats of human health, public safety, and environmental, perform short-term groundwater recovery and interim source of the removal activity, the groundwater recovery from the wells with the plum screened intervals intercept with the water table with intent and achieve with the cleaning up of the progress may be performed prior to department approval of remedial action plan, but submitted with the President 62, 780, 700 Florida Administration Codes, provided with the following criteria. Prior initiation, person responsible for site rehabilitation provided by the department written notification according to the time frames in Table A, the notice of the field activities. The cleanup agreement documentation includes the description type of the contamination, its estimated volume of the groundwater to be removed, the proposed disposal methods to be utilized. The groundwater contamination has established to be less than one-fourth of an acre to confine the shallow aquifer wells. The screen intervals intercept with the water table shows the pumping off the shallow aquifer wells. The shall plumb with the may result in site meeting the no further action criteria. Rule 62, 780, 680. Natural attention and monitoring criteria with Rule 62, 780, 690. Brew product is not present. The duration of the groundwater recovery does not exceed 30 days unless the person responsible for site rehabilitation to demonstrate the permit the extended groundwater recovery will not result in the spread of contamination. The recovered groundwater is not treated on site, but the properly disposed of the permitted industrial water treatment facility is publicly owned with the treatment works approval sanitary sewer authority of the permitted with the hazardous waste treatment storage disposal facility if required with the groundwater with the hazardous waste sample for representative monitoring wells to determine the effectiveness of short-term groundwater recovery event that shall be performed at least 30 days after the completion of the groundwater recovery within the time frames, the frequency set and specified in Table A of the computer cleanup ad agreement documentation of the person responsible for site rehabilitation shall submit the department for the review an electronic paper copy of the interim source removal status forth and report the documentation recovery of the progress, summarize all recovery activities specified report. Interim groundwater remediation prior to the approval of remedial action plan prepared for the submitted with the rule pursuant to the Rule 62, 780, 700 when A with the criteria subparagraph 62, 780, 503A through 4 are not met. Personal responsible site rehabilitation may perform a groundwater recovery on-site treatment and disposal any other means in terms of in suit with groundwater remediation provided the person responsible for site rehabilitation submits the interim source removal proposal that includes the same level of engineering detail with remedial action plan pursuant to this Rule 62, 780, 700. Florida Administration Code, the applicable section should be signed with the seal of the pursuant to 67 Rule 62, 780, 400 Florida Administration Code. The department shall provide the person responsible for site rehabilitation writing approval of the proposal, notifying the person responsible for the site rehabilitation writing stating the reason for the proposal does not include the containing any information adequate to perform the groundwater recovery pursuant to paragraph 262, 67, 8504A, 5 Florida Administration Codes. With the time frame frequency specified on the Table A, the computer clean agreement documentation person responsible for site rehabilitation shall submit the department for the review of electronic paper that instrument source for the removal status of the report documentation recovered the progress summarizing all the recovered activities that is specified in the period. Soil sediment removal, treatment, and disposal. Personal site responsible for site removal made for the emergency responsible action shall excavate the contaminated soil, contaminated sediment for the proper treatment of the proper disposal of the interim source of removal activity provided with the following criteria not met. Prior initiating the person responsible for site rehabilitation provided with the department written notification according to the time frames in the Table A of the computer cleanup agreement documentation that includes the description of the type of the contamination and estimated value of the site, the sediment to be removed, the proposal disposal method utilized. Containing shall not be spread into a previous contaminated area, less contaminated areas through untreated discharge, improper treatment, improper disposal, improper storage. Flammable products should be handled with a safe manner when soil vacuum extraction system is necessary to abate the imminent threat of the human life and health, safety within the structure, and the utility continuity with the vacuum extraction system shall be designed to operate only to abate the immediate threat. The department shall notify within 24 hours the imminent threat. Intent the use of soil vacuum extraction, the air, the mentioned monitoring frequency. The monitoring shall be performed pursuant to paragraph 62, 780, 704A, and 111I. Florida Administration Code. If one of the objectives of the interim source removal is excavate all the contaminated soil and sediment confirmatory soil sediment samples should be collected. Soil samples to be collected at the bottom of the excavation unless the bottom is below the water table. The walls and permit of the excavation sediment samples should be collected at the bottom of the permit of the excavation applicable. 6. Determination shall be made as to whether or not the contaminated soil or sediment contains the hazardous waste. If the soil or sediment known to be contaminated hazard were listed in Title 42 of our Part 261, Subpart D, July 1st, 2012 edition, hereby adopted and incorporated the reference number 2418 of the Florida Gateway Rules. The testing not required to make the determination soil sediment known with the contamination list that has contaminated with any of the toxic constituents and identified in Title 40 CFR 261.24 July 1st, 2012. Additionally, hereby adopted and incorporated the reference Florida Rules Gateway reference number 202418, and the contamination does not result in solely with the manufactured gas plant use waste. The use of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency test method 1311 toxic characteristic leaching procedure subsequent analysis of the lache should be performed in a number of samples sufficient to determine whether or not to be contaminated soils or sediment exceed the maximum concentration of toxic characteristics pursuant to Title 40 CFR 261.4 B10 Subpart A, July 1st, 2012. Additionally, here adopted and incorporated the reference Florida Rules Gateway, the reference number, the reference 02419, petroleum contaminated media debris associated with the underground storage tank system that failed to test the toxicity characteristics of Title 40 CFR 261.24 Part C hazardous waste code D018 G043 only, or solid waste non-hazardous waste contaminated soil associated with the underground storage tank, which will be managed with the solid waste and not subject to the requirement of the TCLP extraction subsequent to the analysis of lache performed. When excavated, contaminated soil and sediment is temporarily stored with the stockpile on site, the soil and sediment shall be placed on an impermeable surface to prevent lache infiltration in a secured manner to prevent the human exposure to contaminated with the soil sediment, prevent soil with the sediment exposure to precipitation that may cause surface runoff. The excavation shall be secured to prevent entire by the public excavated contaminated soil, including the excessive contaminated soil defined with subsection 62.780.215 may return original excavation. Petroleum storage tanks shall have been removed or replaced when contaminated soil were encountered during the construction activity of the petroleum storage and dispensing facility to be addressed with later to the Rule 62.780.700. The temporary storage stockpiling excavated contaminated soil sediment shall not exceed 60 days unless stockpiled within the right of way, which may cause shall be removed from the proper treatment, the proper disposal as soon as practical, but not later than 30 days after the excavation, unless excavated contaminated soil sediment contains hazardous waste. Different time of the frame is authorized pursuant to Chapter 62.730 Florida Administrative excavated petroleum contaminated soil, including the excessive contaminated soil defined in subsection 62.780.215 Florida Administration Code, may be containerized in watertight drums stored in the on-site 90 days after typing the proper treatment. The proper disposal of the contaminated soil shall occur, or it may be landformed pursuant to paragraph 62.780.505b Florida Administration Code. Person responsible for site rehabilitation advises that other federal, local laws, regulations may apply with the activities. Alright, landforming of the soil contaminated petroleum product is allowed, but provided with the landform is operated with the location of the same property, the source of the contaminated soil, unless it is land formed in a permitted stationary facility. The following criteria shall be met in contaminated soil land for the farmed and on-some horse property. The landform operation should be at least 200 feet from any residential school, park. Any large enough spread to the soil thickness of 6 to 12 inches shall be available. Landformings are to be secured with a manner that prevents entry of the public and prevent human exposure to the contaminated soil. Materials used for the construction of landform treatment that shall be withstand rigors of the landforming weather. Landform soil should be placed over the impermeable liners surfaces surrounding at all times. Impermeable liners supported by the berms. Landform soil shall be tilled at least bi-weekly. Alright, landform soil should be covered when not being tilled to prevent water from entering or leaving the area. The monitoring sample programming shall be established to evaluate the effectiveness of landforming operation for the effectiveness of the environment, including the monitoring of the groundwater to confirm the leaching is not occurring in the off gas emission of the air. Regulatory compliance before the landforming operation commences. The person responsible for the site rehabilitation should submit the department for the review of the monitoring sampling program, design specification of the treatment area, the type of the amount of any proposed additive soil. Demonstrate that the object of the subparagraph will be met. The prior approvals will not record the quantities less than 20 cubic yards, but design the specification result with the monitoring sampling program shall be submitted with the interim source removal report. 9. Landforming soil is limited to 180 days at the end of the time proposal disposal of the required exemption, except for approval pursuant to provision section 62.780.793 Florida Administrative Code to exceed the time frame to obtain with the department. Landform soil does not exceed the lower the direct exposure of the residential cleaning target level of leachability based on the groundwater cleaner tier clean target levels specified in Chapter 62.777 Florida Administrative Code Table 2 may be disposed of on-site or off-site. The person responsible for site rehabilitation rehabilitation is advised that the other federal local law regulations may apply to the activities. Land farm soil that exceeds applicable cleaning target levels specified in 62777 for the Administrative Code Table 2 should not be disposed and returned to original excavation without obtaining approval from the department. C. Consistent with the goals of the fourth in Section 403.061.33, the department encourages the treatment over disposal options to address contamination soil. Soil sediment treatment is stored disposal techniques is not authorized by applicable rules. The department requires approval of the interim source for removal of the process proposal submitted with the pursuant to 62780 Florida Administration Code remedial action plan submitted with the pursuant to 62780 Florida Administration Code. The interim source removal of the proposal shall include the information outlined in subsection 62.780.703 from 4 Florida Administrative Code if applicable. If the department should provide the person responsible for site rehabilitation with approval of the interim source removal of the proposal submitted with the pursuant to paragraph 62.780.505 of the Florida Administration Code, notify the person responsible for site rehabilitation writing the stating the reason for the interim source the removal of the proposal does not contain information adequate to support selection of alternative soil sediment treatment with disposal technique. 6. Authorization equipment that authorization received with approval to resist Rule 62.780.500 does not relieve the person responsible for site rehabilitation for obligation to comply with the department rules. For example, the chapter 62.701, 62.730 for the product recovery, the product disposal of the groundwater recovery, handling, storage, disposal, treatment of the contaminated media. The person responsible for site rehabilitation is advised for the other federal local laws regulations may apply with the activity. 7. Interim source removal of the report within time frame specified in Table A with the cleanup agreement documentation. The person responsible for site rehabilitation to submit electronic paper copy of the interim source removal of the report. The department to review the analytical results obtained pursuant to subparagraph 62.780.503A6 and 62.780.505A5, 62.780.605 and 3. Florida Administration Codes applicable to completion and interim source of the removal demonstrated no further action criteria with the criteria subsection 62.780.680. Florida Administrative Codes met with the site assessment pursuant report pursuant to subsection 62.780.687 may be submitted in lieu of the interim source of removal. The interim source removal of the report should contain the following information detailed as applicable. 1. The type of estimated value of the non-aqueous phase liquid of discharge for the environment. If known, the volume of the non-aqueous phase liquid is the volume of the groundwater recovered. The volume of contaminated soil sediment that excavated but treated and properly disposed. Disposal recycling method of non-aqueous loaded liquid to contaminated soil sediment. Disposal method of contaminated method and investigation desired waste. The scale site map, including the geographical representation of the scale, the use shown, the location of all known on-site structures, including building, underground storage tanks, the shoreline drain system, septic tank, the location of where the free product was recovered in the area of the soil removal treatment, and approximate location where the samples were collected. Table to summarize the free product thickness and monitoring wise, the piezo meter, total depth and screen interval. Each monitoring well of the piezo meter with the dates of the measurement were made with the type of the field screen, instrument analytical methods or other methods used, the dimension of excavation, location, integrity, capacity, less known contents of storage tanks, integral piping the disappearance and the appurtenancies to remove the table that indicates that identifying the depth of the field of the soil screen results each of the sample collected separate tables of media and summarize all available soil, sediment, groundwater, surface water analytical results, detection limits achieved with non-detected analytes and analysts. Performed listing all contaminants analyzed through the corresponding cleanup target levels, depth of the groundwater at the time of the excavation, each excavation measurement, location method used to obtain the information, the scale site, including the graphical representation scale used, show the location result with the contaminatory soil sediment in relationship to the area of the soil and sediment removal. Documentation certification that confirms the proper treatment of the proposal of the disposal of the non-adequate phase liquid, contaminated ground, contaminated soil, contaminated sediment, including disposal manifest non-adequate phase liquids, hazardous waste, and copy the documentation certification treatment acceptance of the contaminated soil and contaminated sediment. 15. Land farmed soil, copy of the pre-treatment and post-treatment of the analytical results. The department shall provide a person responsible for site rehabilitation with written approval of the interim source removal of the report submitted pursuant to the criteria of the paragraph 62.780.507A Florida Administration Code, and notify the person responsible for site rehabilitation in writing stating that the reason for the interim source removal of the report does not conform to the applicable interim source removal of the criteria of paragraph 62.780.507A Florida Administration Codes. Alright, the interim source removal is incomplete with any of the respected insufficient satisfy the criteria of the paragraph 67.85.107A with the Florida Administration Code. The department shall inform the person responsible for site rehabilitation pursuant to subparagraph 67.87.507B2. that the pursuant to site rehabilitation submit the department review with electronic paper copy of the interim source for removal of the report addendum that addresses the deficiency within 60 days of the receipt of the notice. The interim source removal is performed after submittal of the site assessment report. The person responsible for site removal should submit the department of review electronic paper copy of the site assessment report addendum. The updates to the site assessment report, the summary of the interim of the source removal activities, all sampling results obtained by the submittal of the site assessment report, and includes the recommendation pursuant to paragraph 62, 780, 608B Florida Administration Codes. Rulemaking Authority 376303, 376307, 376307, 30701, 37630784, 37630789, 37681, Florida State Law implemented 37630701, 37630701, 3763011, 3763074, 3763079, 37681, Florida State History News, April 17, 2005, amended June 12, 2013. All right, non-patrolling deminious discharge. The purpose of the rule section of the non-patrolling deminious discharge means the discharge of the pollutant hazardous substance other than petroleum product is defined in subsection 376301. For the state statute, remove the soil sediment, the surface of the water, the groundwater control, clean targeted levels of background concentration pursuant to subsection 6270 680 within a period of 30 days of the discovery of the discharge. Non-patrolling D- discharge should be addressed. Interim source removal should be subject to the applicable requirements of the rule 62780 500, except for the notification requirements of section notification requirements subsection 62780 Florida Administration Code discharge directly and selfish should not be accepted from the reported requirements subsection 62780 Florida Administration Code. The person responsible for site rehabilitation shall maintain the record of retention actions where taken of the response to discharge, including the information required pursuant to paragraph 62780 the Florida Administration Code. For the 5 years of the date of the discharge, record shall be made available to the department upon the request. Rulemaking Authority 37630701, 37630784, 37681. Florida law state that it implemented 376300701, 376300784, 37681. Florida State History, April 17, 2005, amended June 12, 2013. All right, 62780, which is contaminated site cleanup criteria. 560 petroleum or petroleum products D- discharge. The purpose of the rules section of the petroleum products D- discharge mean the discharge petroleum products less than 25 gallons on the previous surface. The subject discharge except with the notification requirements subsection 62780 with the requirement 62780 500 as long as the discharge removed the properly treated, properly disposed of otherwise remediated pursuant to the applicable provisions of rule 62780 500 for the administration code so that they clean up target levels of background and concentration pursuant to section of section 62 780 680 are achieved. For the purpose of the rule, the petroleum and petroleum product D- discharge will also mean the discharge of the petroleum products of the 25 to 100 gallons on a previous surface of non-associated with regulated petroleum storage system has not impacted groundwater for which the Florida Department of Environmental Protection Office of Emergency Response oversees the response action in collusion with the emergency response action. Clean up target levels, background concentration pursuant to subsection 62 780 681 Florida Administration Code. The age achieved the D- discharge shall be addressed on the interim source. The removal shall be subject to applicable requirements. Rule 62780 500 the Florida Administration, including notification reporting. If information represented with an internal source, the removal of confirmed the non-contamination remains the collusion with the emergency response action. The department will indicate wiring through the information provided with the discharge reporting incorporated with the 62761 on 900 Florida Administrative Code form number 62761 900. Other discharge report will no longer be tracked. The Division of Waste Management from the other no other site rehabilitation requirements of the chapter are required and followed. Rulemaking 376303, 37633071, Florida State Law, implemented 376303, 376315, 37633071, Florida State History, June 12, 2013. Alright, 600. Hopefully this ain't long. And it's long as hell, isn't it? It's